Ever notice something weird? You can ask almost any American over 30, what's your favorite Pizza Hut memory? And they'll probably have one. Now ask them, when was the last time you actually ate there? Suddenly, it gets awkward. That's like running into your high school crush 20 years later. You remember the good times, but you're definitely not getting back together. So, what on earth happened to one of America's biggest pizza empires? Back in the 80s and 90s, Pizza Hut wasn't just a restaurant, it was an event. Parents weren't saying, let's grab dinner. They were saying, we're going to Pizza Hut. Huge difference. Kids weren't excited because the pizza was made by Italian grandmas using secret family recipes. Let's be honest, half the excitement came from the arcade games, the buffet, and drinking enough soda to scare your dentist. Pizza Hut sold an experience, and business was booming. Now here's the funny part. When a company becomes successful, something strange happens. Everyone inside the building suddenly becomes a genius. Every meeting ends with, great job, team. Nobody raises a hand and says, hey, what if we're completely wrong? Because apparently, that's not great for promotions. Pizza Hut kept winning for so long that it started believing success was permanent. Spoiler alert, business doesn't care about your trophies. So what did they do? More stores, bigger restaurants, more dining rooms, more tables. Basically, if they could fit a Pizza Hut somewhere, they built one. Investors loved it. Wall Street loved it. Executives loved it. The only people nobody bothered asking were the customers. And trust me, customers have a terrible habit of changing without asking for permission. Around the same time, another company looked at the pizza business and asked one ridiculously simple question. What if people don't actually want to leave the house? Sounds obvious today, but back then it was a game-changing idea. While Pizza Hut was busy building bigger restaurants, Domino's was busy making the couch impossible to leave. And let's be honest, the couch has defeated stronger people than Pizza Hut. Think about your own life. It's Friday night. You've worked all week. It's raining outside. Your sweatpants are already on. Are you seriously getting dressed just to drive across town for pizza? Of course not. You're grabbing your phone before you even finish reading the menu. Customers didn't stop loving pizza. They stopped loving unnecessary effort. And that's a very expensive difference. Here's the crazy part. Pizza Hut actually had the money to see this coming. They had reports, customer surveys, market analysts, probably even a guy whose entire job was predicting trends. Yet somehow, the company reacted like someone ignoring the check engine light because the car was still moving. Sure, it'll keep moving. Just don't act surprised when it suddenly stops on the highway. Meanwhile, Domino's wasn't trying to look cool. They weren't building fancy restaurants or chasing Instagram photos. They focused on one boring thing, making ordering pizza stupidly easy. Turns out boring ideas make a lot of money. Nobody brags about clicking 3 buttons on an app, but millions of people quietly do it every single day. And that's where Pizza Hut made its biggest mistake. They thought they were competing with other pizza companies. They weren't. They were competing with convenience. And convenience has absolutely no loyalty. It doesn't care how famous your logo is, or how many childhood memories people have. If someone else makes life easier, convenience packs its bags and leaves without even saying goodbye. Here's where things really started falling apart. Pizza Hut eventually realized people wanted delivery more than dining rooms. Great. Except they showed up to the party after everyone had already eaten. That's like buying Bitcoin after your neighbor has already retired. Technically, you're still in the game. You're just a little late. Then things got even worse. Those giant restaurants that once made Pizza Hut look powerful suddenly became expensive to operate. Bigger buildings meant higher rent, more employees, more maintenance, and bigger bills. Meanwhile, competitors were running smaller locations, spending less money, and delivering more pizzas. Pizza Hut built castles, while everyone else figured out customers were perfectly happy, ordering from a much cheaper kitchen. And here's something most people never think about. Customers don't wake up one morning and say, I hate Pizza Hut now. That's not how businesses lose. People simply forget about them. One Friday they order somewhere else, then they do it again, then again. And before you know it, Pizza Hut isn't your first choice anymore. It's your, oh yeah, they still exist choice. And trust me, that's one of the worst places a brand can end up. The internet made things even funnier. People started posting photos of old Pizza Hut buildings that had turned into banks, churches, dentists' offices, even vape shops. At this point, spotting an old Pizza Hut is almost like bird watching. Somebody always points and says, "That used to be a Pizza Hut." Honestly, those red roofs might be more famous than the restaurants themselves. Now, to be fair, Pizza Hut isn't gone. Millions of people still eat there every year, and thousands of locations are still open around the world. So no, this isn't the story of a company that completely died. It's the story of a giant that slowly stopped being the first name people thought about. And in business, losing your spot in someone's mind is often more dangerous than losing money. So, who actually beat Pizza Hut? Domino's? Delivery apps? Rising costs? Changing customer habits? The answer is all of them. But none of those would have mattered if Pizza Hut had kept adapting. The biggest enemy wasn't another pizza chain. It was the belief that yesterday's success would automatically create tomorrow's success. And history has a funny way of punishing companies that think they're too big to fail. So the next time you drive past one of those iconic red roof buildings, don't just think, "That used to be Pizza Hut." Think about what it represents. Every successful company gets one question from the market every single day. Why should we choose you today? The moment you stop answering that question, someone else happily will. And honestly, that's why Pizza Hut's story is so fascinating. It isn't really about pizza. It's about how even the biggest brands can slowly lose touch with the people who made them successful in the first place. That's a lesson every business owner, and maybe even every one of us, can learn from. Now I want to hear from you. If you could bring back one iconic restaurant exactly the way it was in the 90s, which one would you choose? Pizza Hut, Red Lobster, Blockbuster Snack Bar, or something completely different? Drop your answer in the comments. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button, subscribe to Lost Empire, and turn on notifications. Because next time, we're uncovering another iconic American brand that quietly lost everything. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.